you think you owe an apology to all the Hispanics in this country?
No, by the way, such a great relationship with the Hispanics. And very interestingly, in Nevada, for those that haven't heard, they just did a poll. And I'm leading, not only am I leading by a lot in the poll, but almost more important to me, because I employ hundreds, and actually I employ thousands of Hispanics, and over the years, tens of thousands. But I'm leading in the poll by a landslide.
Well, when presidential candidate Donald Trump took his southern border tour today, he was met by fans who cheered his focus on illegal immigration and by critics who slammed him for what they call his hateful remarks about Latinos. And while neither of our next two guests went to the border today, this is an issue they both care a lot about. Jose Antonio Vargas is an immigration activist. He is himself an illegal immigrant, and he's the host of the new MTV special, White People. And Coulter is a best-selling conservative writer and most recent author of the book, Adios, America, the left's plan to turn our country into a third world hellhole. We're going to begin with Jose. She's always so shy about telling us how she really feels. Jose, good to see you. So just a fact check, because Donald Trump did do well in this one poll to which he refers. However, according to the latest Washington Post ABC News poll conducted in mid-July, among Hispanic adults, 84% said they definitely would not vote for him. They said 84% they definitely would not. However, he does lead general GOP polls by several respected organizations. And the question I have for you is, does his message seem to be catching on?
Well, I mean, I think what's catching on here is the fact that the general public doesn't really know the facts when it comes to immigration. I find it really stunning listening. You know, I'm a journalist at heart, right? Reporting is my religion, journalism is my church. Why hasn't anybody actually said that 40% of people who are here illegally, 40%, including somebody like me, actually got here and overstayed their visa, meaning they didn't cross the U.S.-Mexico border. Right? And yesterday, the Pew Research Center...
But why should that shut down the points? Why should that shut down the points made by the other side, which is...
Because
then there's that other 60% that are crossing, and then some of them, as he points out, commit crimes.
Some of them, yes, but you and I had a conversation about this last week. Not all of them, right? They're not all representative of that. It's kind of like saying...
Even he didn't assert that.
Well, that's kind of like saying Donald Trump represents all of Republicans' views. I mean, I don't know about, you know, what Rick Perry, for example, the governor of Texas, disagree with what Donald Trump is saying. But actually, here's the bigger point, though. I mean, he was talking about how he was invited by Border Patrol people. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the number of Mexican immigrants apprehended by Border Patrol have been trending backwards for years at their lowest level since the 1970s. Why doesn't Donald Trump say that?
But the point is, for Donald Trump and those who support him, the more we see cases like Kate Steinle, who, you know, law-abiding American citizens who are in this country and then, lo and behold, get murdered by illegal immigrants who've been deported repeatedly and have committed felonies over and over, the more his message resonates. And people are looking for an answer. Illegal immigration, which was not at all at the top of most people's lists, it is for people like Ann. She's been making this an issue. But the GOP had been largely ignoring this for years, much to Ann's consternation. And now suddenly it's a top issue for folks.
Well, here's what we do agree on. We need a solution. We need a... I'm undocumented. I'm on your show, right? Like, we need a solution to solve this problem. But Donald Trump spewing ignorant, you know, and hateful things at the border is not that solution.
What is the hate? Get specific, Jose. What specifically did he say that was filth?
I mean, the fact
and
you just listed that Washington Post poll, right? 84% of Latinos do not, which is why when Donald Trump says they love me, who is he talking about? By the way, there are 33 million Latinos in this country.
How is that hateful or filth? I just want to zero down on it, Jose, because that's just this broad brush that people use.
Because here's what's happening. When he talks about the rapists and the murderers, who exactly was he referring to? He was referring to...
Well, you don't deny that some illegal immigrants who have come across the southern border are rapists and murderers.
But that's like saying that's like any group of people. We can pick on any group of people and like take 5, 6, 7, 10 examples of it. Like why
so it was the failure
brush?
To contextualize it. Okay.
Exactly. So contextualizing it is really the failure. And by the way, back to my point. 34 million people in this country, Latinos of Mexican descent. 22 million of them are U.S.-born American citizens, right? When they hear that kind of language from Donald Trump, what do you think they think?
Well, I guess it depends on who you ask, because there's some Nevada Hispanic
absolutely.
Republicans who don't seem to have a problem with it at all.
Well, but they don't speak for everybody. They don't speak for everybody.
Jose, it's great to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Ann Coulter is also here. She has a different view. And first, let's just start with Trump. There's a lot to get to, including the president yesterday, expanded the rights of illegal immigrants already in this country in the face of heart-wrenching testimony we saw on Capitol Hill this week saying, please, please crack down. Instead, he basically went another direction. I want to get to that with you. But Trump, your take on today.
He's fantastic, and he's absolutely right that of Hispanics who are eligible to vote and would ever in a million years consider voting Republican, he'll probably get more of those votes than any other Republican running right now. Because as I've said a million times, the main proponents of amnesty and our current legal immigration system, which is dumping millions of extremely poor people and low-wage workers on the country, are their fancy bosses in New York and San Francisco and L.A. who want the cheap maids, cheap nannies, cheap workers. The workers themselves could use with a little less competition. You know, I hear Republicans, politicians talking about how we have to get up the minimum wage. There's an easy way to have the minimum wage rise on its own. Stop dumping low-wage workers on the country.
Where he says, look, he's mad that Donald Trump didn't put the numbers to it and say, okay, because he says you can say there are rapists and murderers in any group in the country. You know, you could do it by race, you could do it by class, you could do it by gender, and of course it would be true. Well, yeah, but for one thing, was he in studio with you? Because this must be awful living in the shadows. He has his own show on MTV. You're getting driver's licenses across the country. You can become a lawyer in California. How about getting Donald Trump to arrest Jose? We could start right there. The point is, yes, any group will have rapists, but these aren't people who have any right to be here. The motto should be, there are way too many and there shouldn't be any. It even rhymes. In the meantime, as I referenced a moment ago, we saw family after family, the Kate Steinle family and others, go before Congress this week and say, please, please do something, because we've had loved ones who have been murdered by illegal immigrants in sanctuary cities and in other cities. And within 24 hours, Ann, the White House came out and said not only are they going to veto Kate's law if it gets through, but they expanded by executive action, the rights of illegal immigrants who are already in the country. Right. No, can there be any more doubt now that this is just a massive plan of the Democrats to inundate the nation with people who are going to block vote for the Democrats? Obama never would have been elected but for Teddy Kennedy's 1965 Immigration Act. Democrat consultants gloat and laugh about it. They call it George McGovern's revenge and the Kennedy family's greatest gift to the Democratic Party. It's not as if Democrats are winning all these victories because they've changed Americans' minds. No, they brought in new voters. That is why they are winning. That's why immigration, who gets to live and vote in America, is the most important issue. And these illegal immigrants or legal immigrants going around and demanding that, oh, you have to be nice to us and we might not vote for Donald Trump. Well, no, you're guests in this country. You aren't black. Immigrants need to understand we care about race and civil rights because the Democrats fought a war to preserve slavery and the Democrats imposed Jim Crow laws for 100 years. If you have no right to even be in this country, America hasn't done anything to you. You're the ones who should be being grateful to us and hoping, you will be allowed to come in legally. One of the visa programs that Obama extended was the diversity visa program. Diversity. We just, randomly take people on a lottery system, because that's how Scarlett Johansson picks who she's going to date. She has a lottery. We're America. We should be picking the best people. Oh, I see a lot of men in here raising their hands. They want more information. All right, on that happy note, I got to go. Good to see you, Ann. Goodbye. See you soon. Well, breaking tonight, new fallout in a case getting national attention as we get the autopsy results now from the controversial jailhouse death of an African-American woman. See what they tell us about the way Sandra Bland died and how it could impact a potential murder case and the narrative we are being told by some about this matter. And then Secretary John Kerry took a beating today from senators asking about secret side deals with Iran that were not disclosed to lawmakers on Capitol Hill, and why the administration apparently caved on key safeguards in its nuke agreement with the Ayatollahs. Mark Thiessen is next with what it means for the president's deal and for the United States.
With all due respect, you guys have been bamboozled, and the American people are going to pay for that.